Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So the first slide of chapter number 4 is starts with this basic SOA architecture. I hope all of you must understand or must have understood this architecture very well, because this basic SOA architecture is given in very abstract manner, and I have discussed in so much of detail in our first lecture, first SOA lab, right? So we have discussed for a basic to be for a given project to be called it as a SOA project, we need at least it should have one service provider and one service consumer and one WSDL file for that service provider, right? So if the service provider is uh, if the service provider has developed that service for one to many uses, means I have developed a service like ClickBuzz web service, so it is going to be used by different customers. So in that case, we are going to use this UDDI, for publishing our for publish uh, to publish our WSDL file there, right? But in case of suppose I am creating our I am as a developer I am creating some services, and that services is going to be used by within the organization. So what as a developer or as an organization, what I am going to do, I can simply mail that WSDL file with as an attachment to the service consumer, right? So these are the case, or within the organization there are also some service repository, there all the kind of UDDI files, WSDL files are present over there, so that different service consumers can consume that service provided by the different developers, provided by the different services. So you must have understood or clearly understood this so architecture. So moving on, the evolution of SOA. So let's start with a small example, or let's say suppose suppose let's suppose you want to create a new architecture, right? Suppose you want to create a new architecture, let's say requirement is like this. You want to create architecture like so as a solution architect, as a software architect, I want to design a new architecture, not this SOA architecture or peer-to-peer architecture, not that kind of architecture style. I am going to design a new architecture. What is the problem statement? Problem statement is like I want or architecture which supports to connect different enterprises, right? These are the different enterprises like this is Oracle, this is Microsoft, this is Google, this is Facebook, and this is WhatsApp. Let's say these are the uh, different vendors, right? And I want as a architect, I want these I want I want to connect. I want to simply connect their services, right? I want to design a website. I want to design a website. Uh, let's say name of this website is, let's say, XYZ. Design a website which could use services of Oracle, Facebook, WhatsApp. It's just an example, right? So Microsoft and Google and whatever it is, right? In a such a way that output of this Oracle service act as an input of Microsoft service, and output of this Microsoft service will act as a input of this Google service, right? So for this kind of for designing this kind of architecture, we require two things, right? We require two things. First thing is how the messaging system going to work. First question is how the messaging system going to work. So you must have read in your mathematics, discrete structures, right? Everyone. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Am I audible? Am I audible completely or
Yes,
not?
sir. Yes, sir. You
Today we'll
audible and
start
visible.
chapter 4. Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Hello, Abhishek. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Today we'll start with chapter 4, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the first question arises when you want to propose a new architecture. The first question arises in your mind is how the messaging system going to work in that architecture, right? And which protocol, which protocol you are going to use for this messaging purpose, right? So different architectures or different researchers come up with a new architecture which is known as SOA, So how SOA manages this messaging systems, we will going to learn in our next chapter, in chapter number 5, right? And which protocol is going to be used for messaging system, we will be going to learn in our chapter number 4. How, which protocols is going to be used by SOA for their messaging system, right? So they come up with XML kind of thing. This is simply a language, but it is not a protocol. Say what they did. Let us start with the chapter number 4. Okay. So as we already know, why do we need XML, right? We have seen in our lab 1 why do we need XML. Let's in this chapter we will be focusing on, or we will revisiting XML for some theoretical aspects of XML. So what is XML? XML stands for extensible markup language. XML is a markup language. What is markup here? Markup is simply means tags, right? So if you are writing a XML language, it must starts with a tag, open tag, and the close tag, right? So XML was designed to carry data, not to display data. Suppose anyone can explain. Anyone wants to explain why XML was designed to carry data? Anyone?
Sir, because we have so many languages, but all the languages have different syntax. And XML is like for storing data, and we use one language only, means like XML for all the data transfer and storage facility.
See, please note one thing here. Suppose I have a file. Let's say file is a txt file. This is txt file, and it is written like it has contains like name is Abhishek Kumar, address is Patna, and roll number is this one, right? And this is available at IP address A, and you want this file to get access at IP address B. So I want this file in my laptop, right? This is machine number 2 and this is machine number 1. We can transport this file into this system using HTTP HTTP protocol, right? So you need to simply write get HTTP 1.1 and simply write the host name where it is hosted. Let's say the file name is content.txt, right? Content.txt. That file gets simply transported to machine number 2. What if what if the file contents will be XML? Suppose the same file is written in XML. Name is like name, Abhishek, and name here. Similarly, we have class B MTech and class ending here, and we have roll number. Roll number starts with this one, roll 219 जो भी है, and roll number, and we have ending here section, and we have section here. In the same way, if we want to transport this XML file to another machine, we can do in a similar way. So to transport this file into another system, we use HTTP, right? Why it's HTTP? HTTP is simply a transport protocol. It can simply transport one file from one system to another system, right? What is the content? Whatever will the content in that file, we are not focusing on that here, right? So the contents can be XML and the contents can be simple text file, right? So the one of the major property of XML is we can include our new tags, right? We can include our new tags. So what different developers does, XML can be, we know XML can be can include new tags, right? So what different researchers does, they converted this XML into SOAP, right? They converted this XML into SOAP. How they converted this XML into SOAP? They simply added different headers. And they converted this XML message, simple XML message, into SOAP message, right? So now we have SOAP message at machine 1, and you want this SOAP message.
Hello, sir. Excuse me. Hello.
Yeah.
सर स्पीक कोटा लगे तो
Sir,
थोड़ा साउंड
echo. Yeah, sir. Your mic, sir. Both mic is on, I think.
Someone is on. Guys,
Yes,
please.
sir. Muted, sir. Muted. Now muted.
Pratik. Oh.
इन माय सिस्टम यू आर सेइंग इको इज हैपनिंग
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Deba, sir.
ओके
Sir, please. Okay. So now what different research scholars have done, they converted this XML, adding. Yes, sir. Hello.
স্পিক করতে এটা ইনবিল্ট স্পিক করতে এটা কিছু এটা সাউন্ড সাথে স্লো সেটা ধরে লোক से টিকে आवाज तो बोल रहा है
सर वो जो स्पीकर से जो आवाज आ रहा है वही फिर से वापस लौट के आ रहा है। सर आप आवाज कम कर दीजिए, सर साउंड को कम कर दीजिए, वो हो जाएगा सही। आपका माइक ऑन है सर, स्पीकर भी ऑन है, इसके कारण से। सो व्हाट
अभी इको हो रहा है।
यस सर, आप माइक ऑन करेंगे तो होने लगेगा सर, वो साउंड निकल रहा है ना, वो वापस लौट के आ रहा है, उसके कारण ऐसा हो रहा है। आप साउंड को कम कर देंगे तो हो जाएगा सर।
अच्छा
Okay. What different research scholars have done, they converted this XML. How we can convert this XML? Because as a developer, we can include new tags, right? We can include new tags. So XML is converted by adding some headers. How this we'll see in upcoming PPTs, right? So XML added with some header, this becomes SOAP, right? Now you have this SOAP message and you want to transport this file, because this is a simple file, right? This is like content.xml file, because SOAP is a XML based file. So we have content this XML and it has SOAP message, and you want to simply transport this message into different system. So this SOAP message will get into this system, right? Everyone using HTTP. Everyone getting me or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So if you have this SOAP message at the system number 1 and you simply wants to transport this message over over HTTP into system number 2. So it can be simply transported using HTTP. This is called SOAP over HTTP, right? How it can be done? If you have in your GATE syllabus, you have computer networking. You know better than me. You have, let's say, this is SOAP message, and you have encapsulated this SOAP message into HTTP header, right? This can be done using HTTP headers. So you simply added HTTP headers in the SOAP message, in the SOAP contents, and this is called SOAP over HTTP. Using that HTTP, we can transport this SOAP message from one system to the another system, right? And what will be the contents of this SOAP so that it becomes intelligence savvy? Intelligence savvy means this SOAP message does not require any further information to get dependent on another web services, right? The SOAP message can travel or can routed to any of the web services present in the system without dependence on any other web services, right? So to make this SOAP web services or SOAP message independent or intelligence enough, what we do, we added simply headers, right? What are the different SOAP structures? What are the different nodes? We will be seeing in this in our fifth chapter, right? So first of we are going to see what is XML here. So XML was designed to carry data, not to display data. XML is designed to be self-descriptive, right? So at HTML was designed to display data. These are the simple things you can understand from your own. So these are the some history of XML. See, XML allowed developers to attach meaning and context to a document that was transmitted across internet protocol. What is it talking about? It is talking about you can develop another language. You can develop the different kind of messages using XML, right? You can develop different kinds of messages using XML. That is what kind of message we have developed using XML? That is SOAP kind of thing, right? So SOAP message is developed using XML, right? And XML was used as a basis for
ଆଉ ସେଟାରେ କଣ ଇକୋ
ଏଟାରେ ପୁରା ଇକୋ ସେ ସ୍ପିକର ଲଗେଇଲା ପରେ ସେ ପିଲାକୁ ବସିକି ଇକୋ କରୁଛି।
ଏବେ ଚାଲିଛି କିଛି
ହଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଚାଲିଛି ତ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସ୍ପିକର ଲଗା ସେ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଅନଲାଇନ୍ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଚାଲିଛି।
ମାନେ ଏଇଟାର କଥାଟା ଇକୋ ଯାଉଛି।
ହଁ ମାନେ ଏବେ ହିଁ ତ ଟେଷ୍ଟ କରିହେବ ନା ଏଇଟା ସାର୍ ଏବେ ହିଁ ତ ଟେଷ୍ଟ କରିହେବ। ଏଇଟାକୁ ଲଗାଉଥିଲି ପିଲା କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଇଟା ଲଗେଇଲା ପରେ ସେ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଯେମିତି ଇକୋ ଶୁଣାଯାଉ ତେଣୁ ଆପଣ ଟିକେ ସେଠି କଥା ହେଇଯିବେ ଆଉ ପିଲା ଠିକ୍ କ୍ଲିୟର କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଏଇନା ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ସ୍ପିକର ଗୋଟେ ନାହିଁ ତା ଭିତରେ ଛୋଟଟା ବହୁତ ସ୍ଲୋ ସାଉଣ୍ଡ ସେ 100ରେ ଦେଲା ପରେ ବି ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ଚୁଞ୍ଚୁ ଚୁଞ୍ଚୁ
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଏଇଟା ଆମର ୟୁଏସବି ନା ଏଟା ଇଏଟା
ୟୁଏସବି ହଁ ଲାଗିଛି ଅଲରେଡି ଲଗେଇ ଦେଇଛି କିନ୍ତୁ
So in the second point we have given XML was used as a basis for additional standards including XSD and XSLT. You know the XSLT, right? If we want to attach some extra meaning, right? You want to extract some value from XML document. So we can use XSLT, and if you want to validate some XML if you have given XML document and you want to validate whether the given XML document is correct one or not, for that purpose we are using XSD. So XML data representation is the foundation layer of SOA. Because in SOA architecture we have different kinds of services, and these different kinds of services are provided by different vendors, and the different vendors have their different policies of accepting the data types and returning the different data types. So we need to transform one kind of message into another kind of message. For that kind of thing, we are using XSLT, right? So XML establishes the structure of messages traveling between the services. These are all the simple things we have already discussed. So in the next point, it is given XSD schemas preserve the integrity and the validity of message, right? So suppose you have a given a XML document or XML message or SOAP based message. How could you know, or how could you predict the given SOAP message is incorrect one or correct one? Anyone? Hello.
Yes, sir.
I am asking, suppose you have a given a SOAP message, SOAP message, how could you validate it whether the given SOAP message is correct or not?
XSD, sir.
Right. So XSD schemas are defined on their basis on the basis of XSD schemas. We validate any XML based messages, right? So SOAP, we know the SOAP is an XML based message. How is SOAP is XML based message? We are going to see in our next chapter. So XST is used to enable communication between disparate data representation by the schema mapping. What is it saying? It is saying, suppose you have different kinds of services and different kinds of services are taking different kinds of input data. For that purpose, we need to transform our SOAP message so that the different uh, different web services which are accepting different kinds of data types can easily accept those SOAP messages. You know, in the last example, in the loan processing example, we have seen the large loan processor was taking 5 attributes, right? But at the user end, we are given only 4 attributes. For that purpose, what we did, we have appended an extra attribute. Which attribute? Credit rating information extra attribute. We have appended extra attribute into the SOAP message using XSLT, where from where that credit rating information comes into picture. It's come from credit rating information web service, right? So to append or to delete any particular set of attributes from a SOAP message, what we are using? We are using XSLT, right? So that the different kinds of services with different kinds of input parameters can accept that SOAP message, right? So moving forward, yeah. So how can XML be used? These are simple things. You can know, you are knowing this better. XML simplifies data sharing. Anyone having problem with this statement? XML simplifies the data sharing. Let me ask anyone. Mohammad Rekaz,
Yes, sir.
can you explain this? Why XML simplifies data sharing?
Sir, because XML uses the SOAP message, sir, to transfer the data over the HTTP and uses the HTTP protocol.
No.
Simplifies
Guys,
data
please
sharing.
listen me carefully. I am repeating same thing and again because this whole SOA subject is full of ambiguity, right? So please listen to me carefully. I have repeating same thing again and again. Rahul Sahu, can you explain why XML simplifies data sharing?
Sir, it convert in SOAP message.
That is our requirement. Why we have converted this XML into SOAP? Anyone?
Sir, for achieving HTTP services, HTTP protocol.
No. Anyone?
Sir, because
Set to
XML
standard.
has new tags.
Sorry?
Sir, because XML has new tags, so for that.
Set to
Sir, what you asking means asking like why we use XML for data sharing or why we use SOAP message?
Yeah. No, no. I am here. It is simply written. XML simplifies data sharing.
Yes, sir.
Why?
That is
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
structured,
Yeah.
sir. Everything
One by
can
one, guys.
store in Excel.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Go on.
Sir, because like in XML, so what I think, sir, it was data like tags are not predefined. Like we can make the tags by our own whatever way we are using the tag. It's our own choice. How
So
can we
yeah.
create the tag?
And
You are
So
sir,
and
also
and
sir,
and
we
one more
can
and one more important thing is like it was XML is a hardware and software independent. So the way you are using which type of tags or we are which type of format we are using on implementing, that is okay for every format.
yeah.
So I
So
think things.
one simple question can answer this question. Who owns XML?
sir, user, sir, because a user can set any kind of tag means like address tag we use. Then inside address, what is the street name? Any kind of tag we can set by user.
Okay. I am asking some more question. Uh, Andrila. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Who owns Java?
Sir.
Hello, please, just a minute. I want to interrupt.
Okay.
Is there any echo sound is there?
Not now, sir.
Hello, non ecosystem, no echo is there.
No, sir. अभी
No,
नहीं आ
sir.
रही.
No.
अच्छा, स्पीकर पे ही होता है. एटा को मुंहटा को सियाडू कर देना. तो you are comfortable with this sound?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Go on, Andrila.
Yes, sir. Oracle owns Java.
Okay. Oracle owns Java, right? So if
Yeah.
any yeah, if any company has any company has developed some particular language, it needs to be developed. The compiler also developed by that same company, right? So in case of XML, it is not developed by any particular company. So the compiler, the parser, in case of XML, it is known as parser. So the parser is developed by the different companies, right? And the XML is developed by some particular group, that is Open Group or W3, and many of the group are working on this kind of open standards, right? So XML is developed by some researcher group, some scholars, and the parsers are developed by the different vendors, right? So if I passed XML written like hey, my name is this one and my roll number is this one and I am living in this one, right? So this this statement, if let's say this statement is written in form of XML, so whether you are using Java, so there is a parser JAXP. So using that parser, you can extract the value of what is the name, what is the address, and what is the roll number, right? Using Python, there is also a parser. You can extract the same value, what is the name, what is the address, and what is the address, right? So if you are using C#, there is also a parser which extracts the same value, what is the name is Abhishek Kumar, what is the name of what is the place, what is the address, means Patna. So that kind of thing, the parser is already built in by the different vendors, so that they can extract the values of different different tags, right? So for this purpose, they are using XML. And one major thing with XML is XML can be XML can be developed, right? XML can be developed, or XML can include as many as tag possible with the by the developers only, right? You see this statement. The first statement: XML allowed developers to attach meaning and context to a document that was transmitted across internet protocols, right? So what this statement saying, you can add or you can add as many as tags possible in the XML document. That all kind of tags will get transported using HTTP, right? Using HTTP to another machine, right? So at the other end, suppose I have written like my name is Abhishek Kumar. My name is Abhishek Kumar. I am living in Patna, and my address is this one, right? So at the other end, there should be a XML parser, right? XML parser. For this time now, simply understand XML is transported over HTTP. But what happened at the later stage? You did in context of service oriented architecture, there are different services, right? Yani suppose you have a service 1 running on one machine and the service 2 running on different machine, and you need to transport that XML message from one machine to another machine, and the output provided by service 2 running on machine number 2 uh, get going to be used by the web service 3. For that kind of scenario, to make that kind of scenario from transporting service 1 from service 2 and service 2 from web service 2 to service 3, that kind of scenario is uh, not going to be supported by simply XML, because it has not predefined tags. Suppose XML message goes to from machine 1 to machine 2. How this machine 2 will know that this message is not for him? It is intended to go to machine number 3. How? Anyone?
But sir, that will be decided by a TCP IP, na?
No. In case of service oriented architecture, suppose I have a message at machine number 1. So this is the my name is this one, I am living in this one, and address is this one. Let's say some kind of message we have. This message is intended to go for machine number 3, and this is the machine number 3, and it goes to this machine, and then after it goes to this machine. How the machine 2 will get to know that this message is not for me? This is,
sir, we can add some adder and define machine number 3 in the header.
So we need to add some more headers to that XML message. I need to add some headers. So what kind of headers I need to add to that XML message? I need to add that it is not for the IP address this one, it is for IP address this one, right? Or what is the role of this machine 2? Let's say this is credit rating information. Let's say this XML message has these attributes: name, amount, rate. Let me draw it here properly. Machine 1, machine 2, and machine 2 running web services 2, web service 3, and web service 1. It has XML message like this one: name, address, amount, and rate. So this message is intended to go for web service 3, but in the way in its path it goes to first web service 2 and adds an extra attribute, which is what was that? Credit rating information. So how this web service is going to know that this is not for me, this message is not for me, and I have a task to do? I have to append a credit rating information to this this XML message and pass on to this web service 3. So we need to configure this. And how we are going to configure this? HTTP is simply responsible for transportation, right? HTTP, the role of HTTP will be here and here only, right? It's not going to, it simply transport this message from this machine to this machine, and this message from this machine to this machine. So we need to append some headers. What kind of headers? We are going to, let's say XML has the let's say name is this one, and name is Abhishek, name closes here, address is this one, Patna, and let's say roll number is this one. So I need to append some extra information. What kind of extra information? Let's say I written here like intended IP address, this one, and go to web service 2, and take credit rating information. This kind of message I need to append, right? For sake of simplicity, I am appending this intended to IP address, this one, and go to web service 2 to get the credit rating information. So this kind of adding mechanism is possible in SOAP structure, right? So SOAP has some kind of structure. It has body and it has header. Any kind of information you want to add, that XML body, any kind of information for the processing part, right? You can add in the header part. Everyone, that is why SOAP message is used, and at each point we have a SOAP engine here to process that SOAP message. SOAP engine to process that SOAP message, because any language must have a parser. So SOAP engine is a kind of XML parser which extracts the different kind of values from the header block of the SOAP message. We will go through the SOAP structure in our chapter number 5. Everyone?
Sir, headers will be part of the XML or the SOAP message?
It is written in XML, but is a part of SOAP. That complete structure is known as SOAP, simply.
Sir, but that complete structure itself is XML message, right?
Yeah.
Sir, so we can say that SOAP is a special case of XML with predefined structure.
Yeah, I have written the same thing. XML, I have always written XML plus predefined tags is known as SOAP. In the first lecture, I have written this thing. XML plus predefined tags is known as SOAP.
Yes, sir, but you also said that SOAP is also a protocol kind of thing, right?
Suppose you have given 4 pictures. And you are required to merit one. What that picture will be known as now? That is simply known as collage, right?
Yes, sir.
Then collage is also a picture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we need to transport that collage to another system, so that the another person will understand the same way I am understanding it, right? So so how am I understanding that message is collage? I have some intelligence with me, that is the engine. So at the other machine, that kind of intelligence to understand that the image is collage or not the single image. So how the another machine could understand that image? So that machine must have some engine or kind of intelligence, right? That is known as parsers. Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Hello?
Sorry? Yeah?
Sir, SOAP engine is going to process only header or whole file, sir, to extract
Whole file.
Okay, whole file. Okay, sir.
You need to extract information from that SOAP message. It has everything you could imagine, right?
Yes, sir.
It has everything. You must have seen the TCP header in your CN classes. You must have seen the HTTP header. You are simply you have everything in that one. TTL, we have TTL, we have header length, all kind of information for different kinds of purposes. As a user, I am simply transporting one file into another machine using TCP/IP. Let's say this is a simple case. The TCP/IP architect must have included all kinds of scenarios possible in case of transportation from one file to one system to another, so that it has included all kinds of headers, all kinds of let's say attributes in the headers, so that any kind of scenarios can be simply handled by the TCP/IP, right? Am I wrong or not? Wrong or correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
In the same way, what XML does, XML, you know, the XML allowed developers to add tags. So what SOAP SOAP architect does, it simply transform XML based messages in such a way that it could support any kind of scenarios, that is message exchange patterns. We will go through this message exchange pattern, so that it can transport any kind of scenarios. In any kind of scenario, it can we can depend on SOAP messaging framework, so that it can transport so that the machine two web services can communicate in a better way, right? Are you getting me or not, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I will be asking more and more questions so that your simplify. See this slide. One of the most time consuming challenges for the developers is to exchange data between incompatible systems over the internet, right? Incompatible systems means we are having different vendors providing different kinds of services. One vendor is using C# and the another vendor is using Java. So the problem exists, how can I change my Java program into C# program? So what we have done, we have changed Java into XML and transport that XML through HTTP, and at the service provider end, we again convert this XML into, let's say you have a C# program here, and Java program here, and it needs to be communicate. So what it does, C# simply converts into XML, and XML, now we have XML here, and we can transport this XML file to this using HTTP, and at this end we simply again convert this XML to Java, right? And this Java program can be simply understood by this Java code, right? So in this way, this whole architecture of service oriented architecture works, right? It this kind of things are already discussed in our class lab 1, right? So these are saying these things. Exchanging data as XML greatly reduces the complexity. We know why data XML using data as XML, how it reduces this complexity. We know because each of the vendors has its own XML parser, so that we can parse the XML code. So XML simplifies platform changes. Anyone wants to describe this statement, how it is correct? Anyone? We have already discussed this kind of thing. I am just repeating the same thing. XML simplifies platform changes. Suppose at later point of time, suppose you have developed a web service using C# and running on Visual Studio or any kind of any web server, right? So at later point of time, you thought to change that web services into Python code, right? And at that time also, you are not required to change the XML format, because XML is supported by all kinds of vendors. So that is the one of the major benefit of using the XML. XML namespaces, please go through this slide. already discussed these things. XML encoding. Is it possible to include let's say international characters in our XML file? Let's say my name is simply Abhishek. It's Abhishek is form of English character, form from English character. Suppose it let's say I want to include a Chinese name, right? And I want to include that Chinese character into my text. So for that purposes, we are using character encoding. The character encoding techniques comes into two forms, UTF-8 and UTF-16. What is UTF-8 and what is UTF-16? UTF stands for Universal Character Set Transformation Format, right? So UTF uses single byte, that means 8 bytes, and UTF-16 uses 16 bits for most of the characters, right? You know these things, ASCII character kind of thing. That is this is known as XML encoding, right? So to include this XML encoding in our XML document, we need to add an extra line, that is XML version 1.0 and encoding is UTF-8, right? This line is known as prologue. That is the first statement, right? The first line of any XML document will be prologue. So how we can define the prologue? We could write like XML version is 1.0 and the encoding technique we are using in our document is UTF-8. What that means? That means that each of the character in your document, let's say I am using Abhishek Kumar Patna and the my roll number is 219CS33466, right? So in that case, each of the character will going to take 8 characters only. If we are using UTF-16, in that case, each of the characters, let's say A is going to be take 16 bits. So we have already seen these things. What is web services? So SOAP messages, go through this slide. W3C receives in which year simple object access protocol has been defined or comes into picture in 2003, right? In 2003, W3 World Wide Web Consortium receives simple object access protocol. SOAP stands for simple object access protocol. So sorry, anyone wants to explain what is simply means by protocol?
A set of rules.
Set of rules, right? So suppose you want to design a protocol. I am asking to, let's say, suppose Mohammad Rekaz.
Yes.
Suppose you have given a project to design a protocol. How would you proceed? Everyone.
Sir, first I need to know what are the requirements, and based on that requirement, I will design the set of rules. And I mean, whatever my application is, they should work under those set of rules.
Set of rules. This line simply states the abstraction. At the abstraction level, we simply say this is the set of rules. How would you implement this set of rules? That is the matter of fact. How would you implement this set of rules? First thing, why do we need protocol? Why do we need this protocol? Protocol, there are different kinds of protocol. One protocol is messaging protocol, another protocol is transportation protocol, another kind of protocol would be let's say anything, right? So let's say you have given a task to develop a messaging protocol. What is messaging protocol or messaging protocol or messaging framework? That is the same thing, right? So if you have given a task to develop a messaging framework or a messaging protocol, let's say I am speaking in English, and how you are understanding that I am speaking in English? You know the words, you know the meaning of the words that I have also know. Let's say my name is Abhishek. So this statement simply means my name
Sir,
is Abhishek means,
I should
yeah,
also have the idea of the language, sir.
yeah,
Only then I can know
yeah.
that your
You,
language is English
you,
or
yeah,
any other.
means you have the intelligence to interpret that sentence, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that intelligence is simply interpreter or engine, right? In case of computer science, in context of computer science or computer networking, it is simply known as engine, right? You have the interpreter and I have the interpreter of that language, so that I could able to construct sentences uh, out of my engine, right? So the same engine works for you as well, and you get to know what is the meaning of what is the my name is Abhishek Kumar, right? So in the same way, the so how these engines are made, that is the protocol. Suppose in your, let's say, uh, in your, let's say, MTech second year, you have assigned a project to design a protocol for this messaging framework. How could you proceed? You can proceed with that. Suppose I need to send a message like my name is Abhishek Kumar. This statement must be understood by me and you as well. How could this be possible? You must have the engine of that English language. I must have the engine of that English language, right? So we need a transport protocol so that this my name is Abhishek Kumar get transported to you. So we need a transport protocol, that is HTTP. Let's say I am using the existing protocol, let's say HTTP. And I am for making that interpreter, we require to use some programming language, right? So we could use XML. So for transportation purpose, we could use XML, and we could add some extra headers to that XML using XML, because XML allows developers to add some tags, and that tags will be interpreted by both end, at the client end, at the server end. That is how the any protocols comes into picture. In the similar way, SOAP protocol SOAP protocol must have been developed. So you must have understood why it is called protocol. Anyone? Yes or no? Because we have
Yes,
engine
sir.
we have engine at the both end, right? At the client end, at the service provider end, so that this message written in XML could be able to understand at the both side. So SOAP message now represent the communication layer for SOA. This provided a proprietary free internet communication layer. Why it is proprietary free? Because it is not owned by any of the vendors. This led to idea of creating a pure web-based distributed technology. So what is distributed technology? In the upcoming slides, we have this discussion about this traditional distributed technology and the SOA based distributed technology, right? So we will go through this. These web services help to bridge the enormous disparity. Disparity means the differences, right? So disparity between within the organization. You know these things in the loan processing example. We have seen that within the sorry, within this loan processing example, we have different kinds of services. One is taking 5 attributes and one is taking 3 attributes, and so web services helps to bridge the enormous disparity, because not all web services are uniform in nature. Someone is taking 3 attributes as a parameter and someone is taking 4 attributes as a parameter. So this is the disparity between the different web services, different service providers, and this web service technology based on XML help us to bridge that disparity, right? These are more information about these web services. We have seen WSDL. We know what is the WSDL. When this WSDL submitted to WS3, it is submitted in 2001. So you must have noticed one thing. WSDL submitted to W3C in 2001, and SOAP Simple Object Access Protocol submitted in 2003. You can draw some insights from there as well. So web services require an internet friendly and XML compliant. These are all the same thing repeating again and again with in another kind of sentences. Same thing. So before SOAP, till this point we know that SOAP is a messaging framework. It used to communicate, or it is used to communicate what I am understanding from this message and what you should understand from this message, right? So that is the SOAP framework. And how the SOAP message is transported from one client to another service provider, it is transported using HTTP, right? So it is not like the SOAP is only messaging framework. We have XML RPC, right? XML based RPC. What RPC stands for? It stands for remote procedural call, and that is purely based on XML. We have two different things. One was RPC, simple RPC, and the second one was XML based RPC, right? So both are different things. So we have SOAP has come with two different flavors, that is RPC style and the document style messages. We will go through this RPC style and document style messages of SOAP in our upcoming PPTs. So you know the UDDI. Till this point, any confusion, any doubts in your mind? Anyone? Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any confusion till this point?
No, sir.
Okay. How many of you have already installed Oracle SOA Suite in your laptops? Rishabh, Mahendra Sharma, Somsekhar, Andrila, Mohammad Rekaz, Rahul Sahu. Okay. Mahendra Kumar Sharma has issue with their laptops. Okay. We have A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 8 participants already installed. Guys, please try to install, and जिसको कोई प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, जो इंस्टॉल कर लिया है उससे बात करो, ठीक है? विकास कुमार.
Yes, sir.
Have you tried to install that Oracle SOA Suite in your laptop?
Yes, sir, but not installing. And this time I am going to format my system, sir.
Okay. Ranveer Singh.
Yes, sir.
Have you tried to install?
Yes, sir. I've tried. It is showing some error. I will to do it today also.
Try to fix it. Rahul Sahu.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, after installation also some problems are coming, sir.
Yeah, I've already told you about this. After installation, you may face some issues to start that application. Web server. We have a WebLogic server there, application server there.
Yes, sir. Adapter related problems are coming, sir.
Okay. Go through some गूगल बाबा से पूछो, कुछ ना कुछ मिलेगा.
Yes, sir. I tried on YouTube, but nothing is available related to this.
Okay. Mahendra Sharma, have you tried to install Oracle SOA Suite in your system?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Sir, today I have just formatted and all this, hardware issue. I've solved some hardware issue. So now, actually, I had to talk to the Subham. He sent me some videos regarding to the how to install JDKs and all these things. So
Okay.
most probably today onwards, I'll be
Srilekha, he is absent. Okay. Siddharth, have you installed?
Yes, sir, I have installed.
Okay. Somsekhar, is he available or not? Somsekhar.
Yes, sir, I installed.
Okay. So, guys, attend your roll call for today.
Sir, we have to follow the instructions that you have given in the file in the WhatsApp group, right? Until that point only, sir.
Yes.
Sir, also in the 12th step, it is given that we have to create a domain. Is it really we required to create a domain, because mine worked without a domain, sir?
See, for creating your, let's say if you want to create some high level projects, right? So in that cases, you may require that to creation of domain, RCU kind of thing. So we are not going to that deep because we don't have that much of time, because time लगेगा. Okay. I am going to send you some tasks today. Maybe it may have 2 tasks. Try to draw in the same way we have drawn in the previous lab, right? So try to draw it properly in your maybe in your system, or using pen or paper. If you are using pen or paper, please take a snapshot of that diagram and upload in the file section of your Teams, right? So 1 second, please. And regarding your projects allotted till date, if you are getting some issues, try to plan in a service. See, not all projects can be developed using SOA only, right? So if you have allotted some projects, please go through internet. What is the best architecture? What is the best popular architecture, or what is the best suitable architecture for that kind of project, right? Even SOA, is can be used for different kinds of different domain of projects, right? It is maybe for healthcare, or maybe it's for travel industry, maybe it is for different kinds of industries, right? So SOA can be easily adopted to that domain. But in the last class, we have seen Mahendra Kumar Sharma has presented about drone management system, right? Mahendra Sharma.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is kind of IoT kind of thing, right? So go through some papers which have written what are the different suitable architecture for the IoT kind of thing, right? It is also possible with SOA. It is not like it is not possible. We have different kinds of architecture available. In the last semester, you have almost gone through at least 8 or 9 kind of architectures in SOA architecture book. So go through the best architecture which is possible for your projects, allotted projects, and then decide in which direction you want to proceed. And if you are trying to proceed in service oriented. So, based on service oriented architecture, so plan in this way. Suppose you have given a task and you need to decide what kind of services it has, right? In the banking system, what kind of services we have loan processing system, we have payment processing system, we have account opening system, and lots of stock management system within the banking system. We have IPO kind of thing in the bank itself, right? So these are the different kinds of services. So for the sake of simplicity, let's take two or three services and try to decompose it, right? Try to decompose it. What kind of different web services could what kind of different web services can be orchestrated to get the output as your required service. Let's say loan processing example. Let's take the loan processing example. In that case, we have seen, let's say, 5 different web services are orchestrated, right? Or 5 different services are composed to get a result of from out of loan processing business process, right? So try to follow this way. First step, try to find what are the different services you want to provide in your project, in your project, and then try to zoom in. Then try to zoom in into your each and every business process. In this way, service oriented architecture planning is is done. So Vikas Kumar.
Hello. Excuse
Yeah.
me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, don't we use some other tools like Oracle? Means instead of Oracle?
We have many products in the
Because
market.
my laptop is not responding. Means it is like hanging after installing some heavy tools or software.
See, the problem is if I am started to discuss about each and every tool, then it will not be possible, right? Suppose I am want to develop a web service. I could take any programming language, let's say Java, and I could develop particular web service using that Java. And if you are comfortable with Python, please go ahead with Python. It is not necessary to go with Java only, right? Because in the
Hello,
in the
sir.
service, yeah. Hello, Mahendra Sharma, you were asking something.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah,
Sir,
yeah,
am I audible?
yeah.
Sir, actually, I've seen somewhere like in one or two YouTube videos, like for a XML, like if we have a Apache server, so
Yeah.
we can do from that only. So we don't need
We
any.
can.
So, sir, we
We
can
can.
do
Yes,
this.
sir. Yes,
We
sir.
can do,
On
sir.
Apache
Actually, we have a Apache server, sir. It is easy. Like almost anyone have done the with the PHP. Like like our classmate, if anyone have worked with the PHP, they know about the Apache server. So,
Yeah.
like it is a server. So we can start the like Apache server. It was like I don't know, like it was
Sir,
You
he is
were.
telling about Tomcat Apache, sir.
Yeah, I know. What about that?
Sir, maybe sir he is saying about XML, but I don't know about other SOA tools. What will he do?
So actually, I don't know what next we have. So if for the XML purpose, I don't know about the what other things we have in our curriculum. But for the XML, we can do from this only. So we don't need any heavy software.
See, Mahendra, or please listen to me carefully. We don't have XML only. We don't have XML only in our syllabus, right? So it's a XML. For creation of XML, it can be done online. But for suppose you want to create an XSD, you can design the XSD schema in any online website, right? So
Yes, sir.
that is not the case here. We want that
Okay.
XSD to be imported in our Oracle SOA suite. That is the integration software. We have not any kind of services which is like Oracle Service Bus online website. It is not the service we get online, right? You need to install it in your system, or either you could do one thing. You simply upload in that AWS cloud, and you can use it from there only. It is also possible without hampering your laptop performance. Okay, so
Sir, laptop performance is not the issue. What happens like if we run that application, like what happens with PyCharm, sir? I was using PyCharm before 2 months. So then what happens, sir? When I use, sir, then I am not able to use any other tools, any other thing like YouTube or Chrome, anything. So that is the problem.
I have not encountered any of these scenarios before, so I can't do much. That is why I have suggested you to create one user account in your laptops and installed it there, right? But in Windows 10 or Windows let's say Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 or 8.0, whatever it is, Windows has poor performance for creating other user accounts, right? So even in my laptop, my laptop has a i7 configuration. For i7 configuration, even I have created the another user account. Even then, my laptop starts hanging when I am using that another account and using that Oracle SOA suite. So can't say anything about this. Try to install. So guys, please attend your roll call. Vikas Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jitendra Gora.
Yes.
Jitendra.
हाँ प्रेजेंट सर.
Ashutosh Gupta.
Sir, he is not feeling well.
Okay, he's absent now. Ashutosh Gupta. Right. Pratik Jaiswal.
Present, sir.
Shubham Pradeep Kulkarni.
Present, sir.
Mohammad Rekaz.
Present, sir.
Nirmal Chandra.
Present, sir.
Siddharth Roy. Siddharth Rautre. Andrila.
Present, sir.
Ranveer.
Yes, sir, present.
Somsekhar.
Present, sir.
Rishabh Soni.
Present, sir.
Vidya Sagar. He is added or not? No. Akshay Kumar. Akshay Kumar. Is he available? No. Akshay Kumar. Okay. Rahul Sahu.
Yes, sir.
Chandrakant Kumar.
Present, sir.
Chandrakant is not available.
Present,
Chandrakant.
sir.
Chandrakant.
Present, sir. Yes, sir. Present.
Okay. Rakesh Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Mahendra Kumar Sharma.
Present, sir.
Srilekha. Absent. Okay, guys. From tomorrow onwards, Deva sir will continue your lectures. Bye for the day.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.